by the water.
Y'all know what's going on. It's time for another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Bacon. I got my partner here, Michael. And we're going to be talking about something that is, I think, a topic that should be discussed more. And I'm going to let Michael tell you what this show is going to be about, because I think that it needs his voice attached to it. But welcome to the show, and I think you're in for a good one. You might need to get your toilet paper ready. You're going to be wiping your tears away. But go ahead, Michael. Tell us what this show's about.
It's not going to be bad this year. Last year was still...
It wasn't bad last year.
No. As far as tears.
Yeah, okay.
But we're giving tribute to my mother. Yes. Passed away 2 years ago today. There was she was about to turn 74. Mm-hmm. And she was my mother and my father. So, right. I want to give tribute to that. So,
okay, before we get into that, what happened and how it affected you, tell everybody about her, because I got a lot of new subscribers. I want them to know who she was from your point of view.
My point of view, my mother was a pioneer, because we moved down here in '86. Mm-hmm. She opened a courier to Tennessee. Mm-hmm. She opened a courier business, and she was in the trucking, and she was just 30 years too soon. On that, because today she'd be rich right now.
Right, no doubt about it.
So I consider her a pioneer. Being a black woman in the South, doing something in trucking, mm-hmm. And keeping it around as long as she did, then I say that she's a pioneer.
Yeah, it's almost unheard of back then.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, as far as I know. Tell us something else about her. What were some of her passions and hobbies off work?
Well, growing up, I had everything Star Wars, because she loved Star Wars. So I had everything. I had Star Wars curtains, sheets, blankets.
Yeah, all of that.
All the toys.
Now, she told me something the other day about one of her favorite shows. You know what I'm saying? Doom, right?
Yeah, it was the books. It started with the books. She had the collection of the Doom books. So she was heavy into sci-fi. So
heavy into sci-fi.
Yeah.
Avid reader.
Avid.
Yeah. Because I used to appreciate that she sent us books all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that you shared them with me to read and stuff like that. I really appreciated that. You know what I mean? You don't have that many people at all that are that concerned about making sure that people in prison, stay reading and doing things like that right. That was a special thing about her. But tell me, and I don't want to push it, but well, yes I do. I'm pushing it. Tell me what it was like. Excuse me, because I still got this cold, y'all. Tell me what it was like when she passed away. Before she passed away, what was that process about? Because I want people to know what you went through. You know what I'm saying? When they called you into the hospital and all of that. What happened?
Well, I'd first like to say that, for people, they need to get screened for amyloidosis. It's a trait that runs in the family. Mm-hmm. And I believe it's TTR is the gene that they have to check for, mm-hmm. to see if you have that trait. Mm-hmm. And for the longest, mom, they were telling my mom that, it was arthritis, it was this, it was that.
Mixed diagnosis.
Then they told her that they think that it was ALS, mm-hmm. and missed it all the way up until right before she died. So to me, I still think it was medical malpractice,
Absolutely.
Because it was terrible,
Absolutely.
The way that, and I have to applaud my sister, because she's strong to have to mm-hmm. went through and taking care of mom and all the things she did.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, of course I would have done it if I was there, but mm-hmm. I got to applaud her for that.
For doing it. So what happened that day? Tell us about that day.
Well, that day
at the hospital,
it was all right there at the hospital, but leading up to it, I have to say I didn't have the assistance getting there that I thought I was going to be able to get.
Meaning what?
From the chaplain. It's the chaplain's job to make sure that we are able to go through this kind of, the grief and everything.
Right.
And his response to my sister was, he's not going to be able to come. just send me a picture to this phone and I'll show him a picture. I don't want to see a picture of mom. I want to see my mom.
You want to see your mom.
So and I told her, I said, I'm going to see my mom. Well, I don't think so. They're not going to let you do that. Man, look here. I've been trustee for 4 years out here.
And explain what that means. You're trustee. So
I work outside the fence. Work outside the fence
every day.
And away from the compound.
They trust you to be out there.
Yeah.
Because of your behavior.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You're not a threat to leave.
Yeah.
They trust you. And here this chapter was saying that they're not going to let you go see him.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Yeah.
They trust you to go out to work, but not to go see your mom. In his opinion. Makes no sense. Yeah.
But I have to applaud one of the CERT members. He took care of it. Mm-hmm. I have to applaud him for that because he went straight to the warden and made sure that I got to go. You know,
right.
He took care of the business.
Right.
But I guess the only complaint I have about going out there was like I was shackled so tight I couldn't even reach out to her, you know? And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they shackled me all the way. I mean, you know how sometimes it's loose to where it was all the way up against my body.
So golly.
Yeah, it was tight.
No, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, it was tight.
So you were not able to try to embrace her a little, hug her?
No, not at all.
Really?
No, when my sister got up, she had to hug me. I couldn't hug her. You know.
Yeah, because you stuck. You can't move, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shackles too?
Yeah. And we're walking into the hospital. I was like, man, y'all got me like I'm just a mass murderer, you know, like I'm on Max or something. Man.
Every day you get up and you go out there and work, no chains on. But when you want to go visit your mom, in that situation, they got to put chains all over.
They had to put chains all over. So that, you know, that's
and that's something that I want y'all to, if you're listening, pay attention to that because and when somebody passes away, that is when we are at our most vulnerable state. We're hurting. We don't understand what's going on because we 9 times out of 10 haven't been there to go through the process. The only information that we know about the situation is what we hear on the phone from our loved ones or when they come to visit and try to explain what's going on. But there's no substitute for being there. And he wasn't there. So when he gets ready to go, when he goes to the hospital, think about this now. This man is a trustee. And as a trustee, he gets to go out and work every day. You understand? But when he's allowed to go, and all kudos to everybody that worked hard to get you out there, warden and all of them. You got to give them their props because they did not have to do it.
Most definitely. And they did it quick.
And they did it real fast.
Yeah, yeah.
But, I have to say just a little bit more consideration could have been given. Because of your circumstances, being a trustee, working in the community, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I understand the chains had to be on you, but they could have been to the point to where you would have been able to move your arms just to embrace your sister, just to embrace your mother. That stuff right there means a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's something that you give up, all of you that's listening to me out there that might think you're about this life. That's something that you're going to have to sacrifice if you end up in here because they're not going to give any consideration to the situation overall. You're not going to be able to grieve. You're not going to be able to comfort the people that you love the most in a situation like that coming from here. You're just not. They're going to be thinking security. You're going to be thinking, I want to hold my people. You feel what I'm saying? So just remember that. But go on now. Continue to tell us what happened in that process.
And don't get me wrong. I put myself in the situation, so I can't complain about them doing their job.
Right. I don't think that you are complaining about them doing their job, and I'm not either. What I am saying is that it has to be a case-by-case basis.
True.
You are a trustee. You have no issues with at all. If you had issues, they wouldn't let you work like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not saying you should give favoritism to one person over the other. That causes problems. I understand where they're coming from. I just wish that, under those types of circumstances, that a little bit more grace would be extended. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they can make sure that they're standing outside the door. They wouldn't be so bad if they got close to you just to make sure if you tried something, they could get you real quick. It's just that hugging your people in a situation like that, that's big.
Yeah, and they were in the room with us, so
yeah.
It's not like that I could go anywhere.
You got on shackles, being in chains on your ankles.
Yeah.
Chain and handcuffs around your waist.
Yeah.
Now, if you can run and get away from them, then somebody's got a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. But go ahead, though. So when you were in the room...
It was, like I said, the two officers that were there were very respectful, you know, and my brother and sister got to sit there with me, and we sat there and talked and for a little while and discussed some things, and then one of them even played my song "Dear Mama" for me, you know, for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we sat there for a while, and then we finally pulled her off the breathing machine, and when we did that, I think her heart beat for 45 more minutes or something.
Mm.
But I sat there for a little while, and I had to go because it wasn't fair to the rest of the family that they couldn't be in there with her. So I went ahead and left so that the rest of the family can go in there and be with her too.
Where did you get that from? See, because you seem to be always, and that's how I've gotten to know you. You seem to be always caring about other people. Where did that come from?
It had to come from my mother and my grandmother, you know.
Yeah, I noticed that about you. You know what I'm saying? You're always thinking about other people, how it's going to affect them. What can you do to make their situation better? You know what I'm saying? And you take back seats. You help people around here do that. You recommend people for jobs, even though when you're not being treated fair. You know what I'm saying? And all of those types of things. You put yourself out there. You know what I mean? And that's one of those traits that a lot of people just in here don't have. You know, and that's one of the first things I noticed about you as I got to know you. You will put other people before yourself. And even in that situation, when you're in prison, your family is free. They're out there. They're able to be around your mom and any other situation that's going on as long as they want to. You only have a small amount of time. And even in that situation, you thought about the other people that were not able to come in the room while you were in there. You opted to go ahead and leave so they could come in there. And I give you props for that. You know what I'm saying? You're a good person, man. You're a good person. And like you said, you got it from your mom and your grandma. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, because, you know, remember last year we were talking about it that mom would just give people rides.
Mm-hmm.
Go out of her way to give people rides, you know, where they got to be.
Right.
So I definitely got that from her.
Yeah, that's good, man. I'm glad you did. So after she passed away and you were on your way back to the prison, what was that like?
It just was, I don't know. I just looked at the scenery on the way back, you know. And, like I said, the officers were good. They played the song for me some more on the way back.
Mm-hmm.
And
they did what they could.
Yeah,
they did what they could.
Yeah, like I said, I just looked out the window.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I've seen that route plenty of times going back and forth to work, you know,
mm-hmm.
I still just looked out the window. Because, of course, by faith, I know that I see my mom again. So,
absolutely.
The mourning that we have is, I guess, for the things that we're going to miss.
Mm-hmm.
Is
about them in the system. Yeah, no doubt.
Because our conversations, you know, everything I've learned, my mom taught me.
Yeah. Well, she raised you well. I'll give you that. Now, you had a hiccup coming up in this job. You know what I'm saying? But still, I think she did a great job, man. So, how's it been these last 2 years, man? How's it been?
I guess you got to take it day by day. You know, it's anybody that's ever lost, you think about the person daily, so you know,
right?
It doesn't stop.
Yeah. How can it? Yeah. So, what has been for you, you know, your coping mechanism? What is it that you do? Not to say that you want to do anything to forget about her, but what is it that you do every day to, especially when you have those times when you're really thinking about her and you're missing her? What do you do every day to get up and make yourself keep moving?
I guess going to work, you know, it's just something she instilled in me was work ethic, you know, so staying busy at work keeps me going because it keeps me focused on the future, you know. It's like I told her that I'd always do the right thing even when no one's watching. So I strive to do that.
That's how you honor her.
Yeah.
That's how you honor her. And I get that. I respect that too. But it is one thing I'm going to say. I'm going to ask you about. I wonder where you're at now on this. I remember we were taking a class with WKU, Dr. Anton. Shout out to Dr. Anton and all the outside students. You mentioned one time in the class that you had stopped reading. You know what I'm saying? You found it hard to read because it made you what?
Well,
and let me hold on a second before you answer. Let me put that in context so people understand. When I say his mom would send books up in here for us to read, I'm talking about loads of them on all ranges of subjects. You know what I'm saying? All ranges of things, from economics to the politics and everything in between. And we would read those books, and me and him would have these discussions about them and all this and that, right? Because I love reading, And you said in the classroom that night that you found it hard to read, and why?
Like we talked about last year, was when I first came to prison, I asked her, "Mom, you gonna send me TV?" She's, "No, I'll send you some books," because I've never been one to just read, So I guess that was our thing was the reading, because she sent in 2020 she sent The Stand, knowing that I don't read those kind of books.
Yeah.
But she's like, you'll like it, just read it. 1,400 pages. I don't know if I'm gonna like that. But of course I read it because she sent it. And then right after that she sent Roots. And it's another 1,500 page book. So I don't know. I guess the motivation to read hasn't been there. I guess that's what it was.
Yeah.
It's just
like you said, that was y'all thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And yeah, you would talk about it. So, yeah. And I get that. I just wanted people to hear that because, a lot of the things that we do in here, especially the good stuff, we should do them because it's going to make us better people. But what motivates us, what prompts us a lot of times is the people that we love the most on the streets. We do it for them.
Yeah.
And then it becomes routine, and then we start to notice how it's beneficial to us, right?
Yeah.
And I want the listeners to know how important it is to be involved and engaged with your loved one that is incarcerated, because they may not want the change, right? But with some prompting and some pushing from the people that love us the most, even if they don't agree with what you might ask them to do initially, before long, it'll become a routine for them. And on the flip side, if something were to happen, that might be a situation where a person would stop doing it, but you would hope that they would incorporate that into their coping mechanism or whatever the case may be, because since that night that you said that in the class, have you been reading anything?
Outside of biblical, no.
But you're reading.
Yeah, that's the only thing I do read.
Yeah.
Can't stop that.
No, don't stop that. Don't stop that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I just wanted people to know how important they are out there. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to pushing and nudging us on to be the best versions of ourselves and stuff like that, how important they are. Because I know your mom was very important to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Very important. Is there anything else that you would like to say to people out there about your mom and how it's affected you and what they could do if they find themselves in a similar situation to honor their loved one, not disrespect them? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What would you say?
Well, I have to go back to my oldest niece passed away on January 23rd.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an apparent drug overdose. So,
really?
And nobody thinks that she was trying to do it. It was just this stupid stuff was going on with fentanyl and stuff. That probably caught her in that.
Yeah.
That she took something that she hadn't taken.
Right.
And I just want people to be aware of the dangers of these drugs, man. I can't say that drugs are right or wrong, right or anything. In our day, we didn't have to worry about overdosing on something that we knew, on some marijuana or something. You're not going to overdose on that.
No.
I just want people to be aware that the drugs that's not the way to go. It's not.
Right.
It's not the escape that we think it is. It's not the escape.
Mm-hmm.
For me, living life and loving life, is I don't want to be high to miss anything. We think that we're enjoying that, but it's not really. It's a momentary enjoyment,
Mm-hmm.
and it costs you life.
It can cost you your life. People think that they're escaping something, but you're not.
And that was my mother's oldest grandchild.
Mm. So, man, I hate to hear that, bro. I hate to hear that. Well, I want to tell you how much I appreciate you doing this, man. When you mentioned it to me, it was without a doubt, we're going to do this. You know what I'm saying? Because I know how important it is to you. But in addition to that, I wanted people out there to understand how important it is for us to have somebody out there that cares about us the way your mom cared about you. How important it is to have somebody out there that will push us, that will give us a reason to get up every day and to want to do better and want to be better. And even after her passing, how you want to make sure you honor her by, like you said early on, doing the right thing even if no one is watching.
Most definitely.
That's what we have to do. You feel what I'm saying? We have to do the right thing even if nobody's watching, because the people that love us the most, that have passed on, I don't know if you believe it. I believe they're still watching. I really do, man. I just think that, and I wouldn't want to do anything to make them feel less proud of me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I had to tell this one. When my grandmother passed, I was still out and I was in the streets. Mm-hmm. And this so-called friend of mine came up with some cocaine. It's like, here, man, take this, or whatever. It's like, nah, man, I'm really through messing around doing this dumb stuff. I'm honoring my grandmother.
Mm-hmm.
He said, man, you should have done that when she was alive. Why are you doing it now?
Yeah.
So that's why I say this so-called friend. Yeah. It's like you got to think about the trials that Job went through with his false comforters. The false comforters.
Yeah.
They told him it was his fault. It was this, it was that, and completely wrong.
Yeah.
So that's what I say about this person. And like you said, we need to honor them. We need to honor our loved ones by doing what they expected of us.
Exactly.
And I told my mom a long time ago that she was never going to see me or be disappointed by me ever again, from what I do.
Amen. So, all right now. Yeah, that's real right there. Yeah, that's real. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Are you going to introduce Malik?
Yeah, yes. Thank you for reminding me that. Look here, y'all. Look, we're going to wrap this episode up, but don't go away. It's a song that's going to be about 2 or 3 minutes long. It's going to play after this episode. It's going to blow you away. And let me know what you think about it in the comment section, okay? Let me know what you think about it, right? This song fits what this episode is about, okay? And let me know what you think about it. This has been another episode of Doing Time with Joe. I'm your host, Joe Baker, and I say peace, y'all.
Emperor Malik. Life moves fast when we young. From day one, we had a special bond. Time moves fast when we young. One moment we here, next moment we gone. Life moves fast when we young. From day one, we had a special bond. And time moves so fast when we having fun. One moment we here, next moment we gone. Sometimes I'm blurry-eyed thinking about the past. A single mom, you raised me up without a dad. No silver spoon, you did the best with what you had. You woke me up and got me dressed and sent me off to class. But I ain't learned my lesson, so I started skipping. Started smoking weed and I started sipping. I made a couple G's when I started pitching. From juvenile to penitentiary, cause I ain't wanna listen. I'm on a mission to show you my appreciation. Collect calls from the pen just for conversation. Gotta let you know that I love you to death. Life is short, so let's cherish this time that we have left. Life moves fast when we young. From day one, we had a special bond. Time moves fast when we young. One moment we here, next moment we gone. Life moves fast when we young. From day one, we had a special bond. And time moves so fast when we having fun. One moment we here, next moment we gone. An absentee father was the issue. Although you wasn't around, I still miss you. Pops, I had to make you do without you. Crazy how I never knew you, but I still think about you. Damn, how could I learn to be a man without a father figure in my life to hold my hand? To teach me how to budget money, how to plan, how to be a good husband, how to be a family man. With no guidance, I strayed off the trail like a lonely ship lost out to sea with no sail. Me and my moms and my siblings went through hell, made so many bad decisions, went from juvenile to jail, straight to jail. Derailed, the word sums up my life. To kick it one time, I would've paid any price. That one time you reached out from New York, I never thought that would be the last time we talked. Damn, life moves fast when we young. From day one, we had a special bond. Time moves fast when we young. One moment we here, next moment we gone. Life moves fast when we young. From day one, we had a special bond. And time moves so fast when we having fun. One moment we here, next moment we gone.